Hello and welcome to a Tuesday night edition of Wardy's Waffle. Hope you're all having a decent time and managing to get some combining done. It is proving tricky with the rain, very intermittent and very frequent at times. We've had a 2-day break, just about, 2-day break without any since the John Deere went back on demo. Just incidentally on that, I've had lots of comments on that, and thanks very much for your comments and questions on that one. Quite a few people, or some people were saying about they didn't know about the tech and there's too much for a combine operator to do and manage the tractor and trailer alongside. Well, actually, the combine operator doesn't do that. It's the combine itself and the technology of the combine is managing the tractor and trailer alongside. And of course, when you need to think about probably that it says that some people have said about skilled operators, it's taking away the sort of skilled operators from the job. But if you think about it, it's also giving people the opportunity to come into agriculture who aren't skilled, so they can get to see what's happening, what it takes to drive a tractor and trailer, and what happens in harvest time and how food's produced. So it gives up people opportunities that then they might become skilled in the next sort of few years, and as the further their career gets in agriculture. So I think it does open up doors as well. But really interesting demo, and we might get the combine back, which would be interesting if we do. Anyway, let's crack on with this week's update. We're looking at combining, yes, looking at a few different crops, a few things going on around the farm, and also the field that we're about to plant wildflowers in. We're taking a look at that. Hope you enjoy it, and we'll see you at the end. It's Sunday night, about 8:30. We're back on it after the rain this morning. Moisture 16.5, so that's great. It's 1.5% over where we get deductions, but we've got a fair bit of wheat combined at sort of 13 or 14, so we can mix it when we're loading lorries without suffering any deductions when it gets to the other end. Back onto our New Holland now. The John Deere combine is still in the shed. We've still got it, but the header has been taken away to cover for emergency breakdown. It's 11 o'clock Sunday evening. It's starting to spit with rain. We're about another hour left in this field. Hopefully we'll get it done before the rain starts. And that'll be it for a couple of days, I think. It's Tuesday morning, lovely day. You can see nice blue sky here in Lincolnshire, clouds, bit of a breeze. I'm just going around testing some fields of wheat. We've worked out that if we have 3 good days combining, we'll get the winter wheats all finished. 3 good days, if we start later today, will take us to Friday sometime. So allow us a bit of extra leeway for a breakdown or something. And there's rain forecast for Saturday, so we need to get done for Friday night, and if we get done for Friday night, it means we can all have the weekend off. So I've got one of my containers that I made the other day, just going to put some of these ears in here and then take them back to the yard to test. So just grab some that are low down as well, because we don't want to grab all these at the top like that, because they've got the sun. They'll be a bit drier than these down here, so I always try and take a mixture. There's 3, get a dry one as well, 4, and then another dry one, 5, a wet one down here, 6, then just grab another one in the middle somewhere there, 7. We only need 6 ears for the moisture meter we've got. The mobile one we've got, obviously the one in the weighbridge you've seen, we need a lot more. So yeah, looking down here, a few gaps down here on these outsides, and also this field, definitely 2 fields here. You remember seeing not a lot on this edge, and this was stood in water all winter and a lot of the spring, because when we planted this, which was November the 11th, it was good conditions, but obviously it was wet underneath. So a few of the jobs we need to do before the weekend, and one of them is we've got that 10-acre field in Leadenham Village just on the hillside that we're putting into stewardship. It's been in long-term haylage production, so we're just putting that into stewardship. It's a really awkward field, and we need to get that done really before Saturday, before the rain. So we're going to try and just look at that and just see whether that needs spraying with glyphosate, because it's been soloed a few weeks ago. Anyway, here are the ears. I've got 3 containers here, and there we go. I've got 3 containers there with all the ears in, so I'll take those back and get Tom and Ruben in the moisture meter while I go and look at this other field that needs working, because I don't think we'll get combining probably till maybe 11 o'clock, because the rain, bit of rain yesterday, and there's quite a dew this morning. This is the field that we're going to put the wildflowers in, just on the edge of the village. Just a bit of a dilemma, does it need spraying or not? When you walk on it, there are quite a few sort of grass weeds, and you can see there's one there, broadleaf weed just in there, some more grasses here, and where else did I see another one there growing, some more in here. And really it wants leaving a week, but it can't because of the rain coming at the weekend. So I think this needs spraying with glyphosate now, leave it 24 hours, then get Tom in here with the cultipress tomorrow. So really this field needs leaving another week, ideally to get more of the grasses growing, but we can't leave it that long because the wildflowers, now it's time they're in, and with the rain coming at the weekend, they need to be in before Saturday. You might just wonder why am I spraying glyphosate at all when you look at this. Well, the flowers we're putting in, they don't want any competition from grasses, and because this has been haylage and grass for a few years, there will have been some seed, and there'll be quite a lot of grass seed in the soil waiting to germinate. So, and the the flowers itself do have a very small percentage of grasses in them. When I get back to the yard, I'll just look at the label and show you the label, but this is why we really want to start with a clean seed bed and actually take out any grass weeds and any broadleaf weeds that are here already with glyphosate. Cultivations, as some of you might think, will do it. In my view, they don't, especially with the rain coming at the weekend, so this is why it needs spraying. When we were combining on Sunday evening, it was quite late when we finished. I think it was about 1 a.m. We didn't start till 5 p.m. because of the rain early on. And I happened to nod off in the tractor at, I don't know what time it was, midnight maybe, but after that, something around there. And I was right in Ruben's way on the combine, and he managed to get this little clip of me having a snooze in the tractor. Here's Andrew Ward, asleep on the job. So there you are. I was caught having a power nap, but I can power nap for England and it completely revives me. Anyway, today I got my own back because Ruben overslept and he was about half an hour late for work. So there you are, Ruben, it's 1-1. Just having a look at one of the fields that we established our stewardship winter bird food plots in, and really romping on now. You can just see this is, since I put the slug pellets on, starting to grow away from the slug damage. Sorry, due to harvest happening and things, I didn't get back in here to see any dead slugs the next day, but you can just see by how much better these rows are establishing it to control the slugs. Yes, there are a few volunteer weeds and things here, and oilseed rape self-set, but you can just see by the rows now looking really good. And they're getting hold of the nitrogen that I put on, phosphate and potash. So these are really growing like mad now. You can just see, here's the slug damage. I'm great shot here. So that is the slug damage from an older leaf. You can see there it's been shredded and stripped through the middle. But then look at these new younger leaves, look. Nothing, no damage whatsoever. So just shows the value of slug pellets. If I hadn't have done it, they'd have absolutely stripped these plants. See there, that's been chewed. Just trying to find some more. But yeah, looking really healthy now. This will really romp on with all the moisture we've got here and the warm. This will really romp on now and provide habitat and food this winter for wildlife. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning, Tuesday still. So Ruben's in here now before we go combining, just getting some glyphosate on this field that's coming stewardship, coming wildflowers. Great shot there with the sun behind it, showing what the coverage is like. Then what I'm going to do is, because a lot of people walk up and down here with the dogs from the village is just the other side of the trees there, I'm going to put a sign up there and laminate it so people can see what we're doing and what we're putting in this field. It's Tuesday, about 5 o'clock. We tried the combining a bit earlier and it was 17%. Some of you might think we should be going at that, we've only got about 2.5 to 3 days of harvesting wheat left to do, and we haven't managed to combine anything over 15% yet, which is the level where we don't get deductions if it ends up at the merchants or the end user like that. So everything at the minute has got 0 drying costs, so we're trying to finish it off like that. So that's why we didn't go while it was 17.5%. So we've just got going again. You can see there's a couple of lows here to push up, so I'm going to push those up, and then I'll go down and just get some shots of combining the field we're in, which they're in the field where we've got the agri winter wheat trials, which you saw I mentioned earlier on in this video. So I'll get this pushed up, and then we'll go down and see the combine and just see them combining around the trials, because we have got the agri trial plot combine coming tomorrow, which I'll see in another update, but this update will go out tonight. That's Tuesday evening. So just got to get these loads pushed up, which with this blade it doesn't take long. Certainly you can get it really high when you start pushing with this blade like this. 9.5 metre forklift with a 5 metre blade on the front of that, so you can stack it up to 5 metres high. That's got all these 3 loads pushed right up to the stirrer beam. I've just caught that one. It doesn't quite look level, but it won't be a second just to run it along the tracking. So that red box section in the middle of the screen now has just caught it and taken off the rollers. It does happen. It's only a minute job to put it back on, but just got to wind that beam on from that side there. It's got to be brought this way towards us and got over the shed here where there isn't any. We'll soon get it back on with the forklift. So yeah, that's, you can see there, and that's at the top. So got that pushed up. We'll just sample every load like this. This is the same sample we use for the lorries, just so we know exactly what is going into the shed. And of course, as you know, it comes into the weighbridge in here. And I'm just emptying it out into the bag, into the bucket, and we just always sample them all and got all the results from there. So that's the results Tom's just got. Got a bit better bushel weight there, 76.18 instead of 72 to 74, but this is a different variety. This is a variety called Dorsum, and it's the first time this year we've combined any, so better bushel weight might mean better yield, and that's the temperature of the wheat going into the shed at the minute. And we obviously need to keep that cool, or get it cooled down to somewhere between 5 and 10 degrees by, well, as soon as we can, but it won't be for a few weeks or months yet until the colder nights come. I've just got to the field and see the dust behind me, which is great. Frankie, dog's enjoying a run. We're just combining the nitrogen trials. Those of you who came to our open day, remember we had 3 different nitrogen timings, treatments, different ways of doing it, mixing liquid safe. So we're just combining those now, and I'm going to get some samples from those when we get to the weighbridge. We're going to put them all over the weighbridge, so we get some really interesting data, because what we're doing now, the results from this could influence the whole of the winter wheat next year, how we treat them with nitrogen, the amount we give them, and timings and everything. So it's quite an important trial, this one is. It does take a little bit of doing, because what I've got to do is combine each plot on its own. You can see we take a full combined breed through the middle of the plots to get, and then we do the length. We know the area of the length of the field from the combine. We take a full cut 35 feet through the middle, and then we weigh it over the weighbridge, and we can then work out tons per hectare and all of them. So it takes a bit of doing, because we have to empty each end and then go and weigh. So even though the trailer, I don't know how many tons there'll be in here, probably maybe 4 or 5 tons, I don't know, off the length of this field, and then we'll weigh it and go and see what we are and what weight we've got. We'd sample it for quality and have it analysed. Some of the proteins and things we can't do here. Come here, Nala, Frankie, you're just like your mum, you are. You've got your own mind. So now Tom's going to go off to the yard to weigh, and then Ruben will get combine the next breed. There's one more breed trial plot to do. always fold the spout back. And for those non-farmers watching here, two reasons: one, to take the strain off the combine and the load of it, and another one so you don't catch trees or telegraph poles or anything like that, which has been done, and it is done, and it's an expensive repair to have a new spout or part of a new unloading auger. Look at the dust. The more rain you get, the more dust you get when it's dry. I don't know what it is, but it is like that. Unreal, the amount of dust. So we've got the pegs in here. They've been all in the ground here since February, marking out which is which plot, so we know where we are, so that when Ruben's been applying fertiliser, he's known where he is. So we'll take these out. Cobweb off there, look. We'll take these out. You've got to be very careful with these because these are made of fiberglass. And usually I normally have gloves on, but I haven't got them because you can get little shards of fiberglass in your hand. So it's important to grip it tight and not move your hand up the stem. So I'll take all these to the yard because we're often short of trial plot canes. You can see here Ruben's going through the middle here. Yes, it's left a little bit there that's not a full width, but that's one of the things to do in trials. I'd put up with that because the amount of information we get from this could be so important next year. Taking the full cut through, so it's equivalent to all the trials. Take a full cut through. So it's exactly the same amount width-wise, and then the combine will measure the length and the area, and the weigh bridge will measure the weight. So these are the trial plots that some of you might have been round if you've been to our open days. See, they're all ready for harvesting. And Ruben's cut round the outside of them like that. So it's all ready for the plot combine to come tomorrow. Just worth noting here, the difference. Remember up this side, all these up here, this side, were untreated. So they've had no growth regulators to shorten stem and help them stand up, as you can see, and they've had no fungicides for disease. And the right-hand side has had everything. So that plot there, whatever variety that is, and the name tags have been taken away, but Agri know what they are because of the numbers. They've all been numbered from the end. So that plot there is exactly the same variety as that one there, but look at the difference. Flat. And of course the ears will be small. There'll be a huge difference in yields of these plots. So it just shows the value of growth regulators, and earlier in the season when you saw the disease, value of fungicides. And so, excuse me, so that's all treated and that's untreated. Just shows the difference. Interesting one here, and it just shows how you can, the value of the trials. So even though that variety's had a growth regulator, it's still gone down. And when you look to the left, same variety hasn't had a growth regulator, so much flatter and on the floor. And the ears will be small. Look at those ears. I'll just take this across here. Look at that ear. So no fungicides there compared to, even though this has gone flat, look at the difference. Hold it alongside one. I can't do it and do, let's do that. There we go. So look at the difference in size of ear. The one on the left's had a fungicide and growth regs, and the one on the right hasn't. And that just shows the value of it. So it just shows the value of these products protecting our food supply, and means we don't need to have so many imports, even though we are importing quite a lot. Another one there, really bad that one is. I don't know what that is for going flat compared to this one on the right, same variety. Started to go, but not bad. And for those of you just wondering about this this particular field, with a block of land here, there's 3 fields, a 67-acre field there, 22-acre there, 32-acre here. These are continuous wheat and have been continuous wheat now, I think, for 5 or 6 years. 5 years, I think it is. So yeah, to get some really interesting data from this. And because it's heavy land, we still get decent yields, even though it is wheat for 5 years on the trot. Whereas normally, you would need a break crop in between to get a decent yield. Sorry, last time from me. A break crop is something other than cereal, so a legume, something like that, that breaks the cycle of disease and soil issues that you can get when you grow one crop year on year on year. So that's the trial plots combined, sampled, tipped and pushed up. So any differences now are lost because it's all mixed up in the heat with each other. But we have the samples from the individual plots all saved, separated, so that we've got plot 1, which is the NMIN trial. So that is the recommendation that came back in February from the soil test on what we needed to achieve maximum yield. We applied that. Then this is plot 2, which I think is the full amount of nitrogen in one application with liquid safe with the inhibitor. And then we have the farm standard, which is 3 applications of nitrogen, obviously at 3 different times. So that's it. So we'll have a look at the results and I'll let you know what they are in due course. Anyway, that's it for tonight's update. I'm not quite sure how long this will be. I've got to edit it yet. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this update and what we're getting on with harvest. And hopefully we'll see you maybe tomorrow night for a short one.